I hate to break the fishing news up, Yaremchuk, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down, Yaremchuk.
Yep. All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome in episode 176 of the Real Life Podcast, our Thursday edition, because if you haven't heard for whatever reason, we are going up to 2 a week now. New episodes dropping every single Monday and Thursday. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk. Wanye's here. Jay's here. Bag Milk's here. Chalmers is here. He's nice and fired up as well. Before we get to that, should let you know that our podcast, as always, is brought to you by the fine folks over at Japa Machinery. We love them very much. Check them out online, japaequipment.com. Hit them up on their Instagram as well. They are here to help you through a difficult time for your business. They got a ton of new machinery as well. It is sitting, looking pretty, and ready to go. Chalmers, we had to start the podcast basically without doing any prep because you're so fired up that you want to keep it 100 right off the bat.
Well, I'm going to keep it 100 right off the bat because I almost didn't make the show today like I did on Tuesday because contrary to popular belief, when the city shuts down, construction ramps up apparently because people want their shit done. People want it done yesterday and nobody really gives a shit that there's anything happening. So I'm having one hell of a day today, and I just I got on the program and started ranting about my number one biggest problem, and that is the lack of the lineups at Home Depot are fucking driving me crazy. They're too long. They're not letting enough people in the store. I get that it's to keep people safe, but it's driving me fucking nuts. And like, I have a pro contractor card. We spend a lot of money there every month, and yet I'm having to wait in line with, you know, somebody who's probably going to buy a $5 bag of black earth so they can plant some seeds in their garden. And it seems ridiculous when I go to Home Depot 2 or 3 times a day. Now, I'm just going to get right to it because you guys said, why not go to wholesalers? Well, trust me, the wholesalers have made it 10 times fucking harder than the Home Depot has to get your material. And if I want to get stuff delivered, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting a lot more. Delivery prices went up, if you can believe that, also, from some of our some of our wholesalers. But anyways, yeah, so I'm pissed off about it. I think that they should have the lineup for people that are going to Home Depot to buy shit, and then a lineup for people who have the Pro Extra card, who took the time to get commercial accounts and, you know, go there and need to get in that store faster than a lot of people. And a lot of people are going to think I'm just being a fucking elitist or something about yeah, but I don't give a shit. You know, this is why I don't go to Home Depot on Saturdays and Sundays, because of the 90% of people that are in there who are just getting in the people's way that know what the hell they're doing. Now, I understand that people that don't always know what they're doing have to go do this stuff or they'll never learn how to do it. I get that. But that's why I choose not to go on Saturdays and Sundays. All I'm asking for is Home Depot Canada. Just give the contractors, the Pro Extra guys, another doorway that they can come in and give them a little bit of VIP. I mean, what are we spending all this money at your fucking store for if it doesn't buy us anything over the long haul? If you saw my Home Depot bills in a month, you'd be flabbergasted. And if I took that away because I didn't want to wait in line anymore and I took it to somewhere else, and 5 other people did that at the West End Home Depot, let's just say, it'd be noticeable. Now, here's the real thing that pissed me off. I had to rent some tools for my guys today because some tools are just not worth buying. So I rent them. So I go there. Now, there's zero lineup for the rental center. So you can walk right in the rental center. The rental center is connected to the store. It's the store. There's stuff that you can only buy in the rental center if you're in the store. Anyway, I rent these 2 pieces of equipment. They are, you know, $527 I pay right then and there. And I go, I just got to go get some garbage bags. And the guy tells me no. He tells me I can't go in the store. He says you have to go out and wait in the line. And I said, no, I'm going to get the garbage bags. I'm already in the store. The lineup's 30 minutes long. I can tell by how it's weaving around. So, like, man, I don't know. I'm fired up because I think that some people are doing social distancing and everything right. And some people are not doing it correctly and not using their fucking brains. So that's why I'm fired up.
I think what you're saying, Chalmers, is that there's 2 tiers of Home Depot customers. You're a tier 1 customer, you elitist prick. And then there's the tier 2 customer like me who needs to go and buy discount Easter flowers after Easter time.
And you deserve to wait in line. And remember when we used to go to the nightclub, Jay, and we knew the bouncer, or we knew the people there, and we got to walk past everybody in line because we used to get in because we went to that bar all the time and got to know these people. So we had a little bit more pull to get in places.
And free co-check.
Any fucking different. And free co-check. Why is Home Depot any different? Why don't people when I go to a hockey game and I buy Lowe's seats, or let's say I buy nosebleed seats, I don't just walk down into the fucking gold. I don't get to use the bar. Like everything has tiered systems. Why can't this one?
Oh, you just unlocked some great memories. There's some of my best days were entering Cowboys through the co-check door.
God damn, was that boss?
Oh, God, that's
You saw a lineup and you didn't even work. The longer the lineup, the better.
I remember being like, the co-check girls make like $100,000 a day. Thinking that in my head. Because there's so many people paying $10 to get in.
That was not a thanks job enough. Those girls worked their asses off. And drunk dudes just like, fucking throwing their jackets at them, not even taking their tickets. I don't know, man. I felt bad for those girls.
Wow, they made like $100,000 a day.
Yeah, that's true.
They were rich. Anyways, I know that's probably not like that's just not. I don't know.
I love it. Fire Chalmers. Chalmers came in hot.
It's a pain in the dick, man. It's a pain in the dick trying to operate business as usual in a world that is not business as usual. Right?
Right, and I don't want to come and seem insensitive to my cousin. I don't want to seem insensitive to the way that things are, but like, man, the Home Depot needs to realize where their bread is buttered, they have a whole section of the parking lot just set out for orders that they put together that people are going to come curbside pick up. Right? Oh man, every single time I see people picking them up, they are taking back half of the order into the store because the guys picked the wrong shit. Jeez. I can tell.
That's actually that's a problem I've been having with the grocery store. I was helping my girlfriend do an online order.
Names your Chuck. Who are we mad at?
No, I don't. I'm not in the business of doing that. But so she ordered bananas. She wanted a bunch of bananas. And that's the only option they give you on the little mobile ordering thing is a bunch of bananas. She orders it. We take our groceries back to her apartment. We're unloading everything. They gave her one banana. One. She wanted cream cheese for her bagels. They didn't give her cream cheese. They gave her the Philly chip dip. So she's putting that shit on her bagels. Like the mobile orders, I can see why it would work well, but it's just a fucking disaster half the time.
It's a total disaster. And speaking from like a place of knowledge about this, when you order material from places like wholesalers, or when you order material and you need straight stuff, like you go to Home Depot and people always joke that their lumber's not straight. Well, you can pick through it. You can tell what's straight. The middle of skids are always straight, and they will stay straight even when they dry out. But sometimes, like, I order that stuff, get it delivered curbside. Goddamn stuff looks like Twizzlers. And you're just like, what in the fuck, man, am I supposed to do with this shit? There's something to be said for having to pick your own shit, right? Like, fucking groceries. I don't know how anybody could get curbside groceries. I don't care how bad this thing got. There's no way I could do it because of that right there.
Chalmers saying that, everyone knows Home Depot's lumber isn't straight, and the other four of us just kind of, oh, yeah, for sure.
I've been thinking about that for years now.
I call it Curve Depot because everything's so bent out of shape there.
Sounds to me like Chalmers is bent out of shape.
I am bent out of shape. It stirs. Time started to go by fast again, which is kind of. Oh, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I'm telling you, I go to job sites and Home Depot and like some wholesalers, but like it's kind of business as usual for me, and like time is flying right now for some reason, which is kind of nice. I don't know.
I think it's because you were used to maybe it being so quiet for a little bit, and now that it's back to normal, it's like holy shit.
Do you want to know the?
No,
yeah,
go ahead.
The other thing that I started to have to pull back on, and like, is this feeling, and this feeling's gonna piss people off because it's a stupid feeling. It's very selfish.
Talk to him, son. Talk to him.
But the day the whole shutdown thing happened, like it was business as usual for me. I had places that were torn apart. I had guys that had to go there and trades that needed to work. So I saw the whole city shut down, and I'm driving down to Henday at like 5 o'clock on a Monday, and it looks like it's Sunday at 6 in the morning. It's dead, right? And gradually, as cars started to come back and people started to be, parking closer to places again, like when I would go places, I get the best parking. I'm starting to find myself being like, fuck, what? Why is there so many people out right now? And I'm like having to seriously sit back and pump the brakes and be like, are you really going to get pissed off about the fact that it's now getting a little bit busy when it's still totally dead at all times? But I'm noticing that like the Anthony Henday at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday, yesterday, I was on the phone with you, Wanya, yesterday, and I said this to you. I'm like, it's starting to look like normal again.
Yeah.
And you were like, I fucking hate people.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said that scares me.
I said I'm more apprehensive about everybody being quote unquote done with this and leaving their houses.
I fucking hate people. I'll say it. Fuck everybody.
Yeah, no. I think people are like, oh, I'm done with this. I've been locked in my house for 5 weeks. And fair enough. Like, what the fuck is even happening? But everybody going out because they've had enough, like, that ain't it.
Yeah, and I want to make it very clear because I know, like Bag Milk, you've been staying home. You've been doing great, and I've had arguments with really good friends of mine because I have to be clear. I'm not leaving my house because I fucking want to. I'm leaving my house because it's an absolute necessity. Because there's a lot of people that I have to keep working, and there's a lot of people that want the work done because what are we supposed to do? Just leave our house torn apart, right? So like, I don't want people coming at me being like, "You're not being responsible. You're not being." Man, I'd love to have just shut it down. I really would, and I don't know what would have happened to the guys that needed to do the work. Well, they do. They would have lost their jobs, and they would have. But then there's the people that weren't going to get their stuff done, and renos can be stressful. I don't know if anybody's ever gone through them, but like when you're living in it every day and you're watching the baby being made, like it can wear on you. And
now, just hold on. You do renos and watch people have sex?
Yeah, the old saying, like
drill a hole, you'll be happy forever.
Yeah, when I build people houses and they come to a site once every 2 weeks, they're ecstatic. They see the when you come home every day, or in this case, which is even harder, you're at home every day and you're literally watching the job get done. You go through the same stuff as the contractors go. No two jobs are ever the same, and things come up and things happen. Well, now you're living it, and whatever.
Have you had?
I don't want to be going out. I don't want people coming at me saying you're not being responsible. Stay home.
But you're fucking arguing with imaginary people right now. Say your piece.
But it's also different, Chalmers, because you're doing this as this is your job. You're not like one of those 200 fucking goofs that went to the ledge yesterday to protest a pandemic.
God.
Oh, that you think that's stupid? I have nothing to add today. Then goodbye. JK, I would never go there. Fuck those guys.
Did you see the guy that showed up in the blue Trump hat and it started chanting and everybody started chanting Trump?
Oh boy.
Oh
yeah, like
it just like it shows that this gene pool desperately needs a little bit of chlorine in it right now.
It was. Did you? So you looked at the video then, Bag Milk, because by that comment, it shows that you saw that they were young. These people were all young.
There was young. There was old. There was a lot of people. There was some older people in there. I was watching it all. I was following a bunch of reporters that were down there just like kind of checking the scene out, and there was just an array of fucking idiots down there that don't really use their heads in times like this. Like, first of all, the idea of protesting a pandemic to me is absolutely obnoxious. It's not like any of us want to stay in our fucking houses right now. And then to start Trump chants in Alberta, I mean, okay, we're known as the hillbillies or whatever you want to say, but like, come on, man. You just look so stupid, and it was driving me crazy. And then I laughed at that dickhead that drove in a fucking fire truck. Who knows how that happened? He got stuck on the high level bridge because he can't read, clearance heights. Like, it's just so annoying. Because like you said, I'm stuck in my house. I'm not doing anything. I'm able to work from home. But these fucking idiots don't seem to think that there's a problem. And there is. They're selfish.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't want to be lumped in with that. That's what and I have had arguments with legit friends of ours that are like, renovations are not essential, and I'm trying to explain to some. I wish they weren't, but the people that try having a half torn apart house and tell me that it's not essential that you get that fixed.
And like, there's different layers of essential too. Like healthcare workers, people working in grocery stores is like obviously the top layer of essential. But right below that, there are people whose jobs are important and whose jobs can be done safely and with distance and with the proper precautions, who really, those jobs can't, like you said, Chalmers, they can't just take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks off and then be like, well, I'll pick up right where I left off. Because there's like ramifications to that shit.
Well, along the same lines, Chalmers, you were at my place a couple of weeks ago. Like, they're redoing all the siding on this townhouse complex I live in. They weren't just going to let that job finish, like just sit half finished with that, you know, that Tyvek white paper around everybody's houses. They're continuing.
Oh yeah, and like that, and that is essential because they've taken the building envelope off of your building. Now, it can be susceptible to like rain, you know, the elements can start to damage that shit. They have to do it. You know, like that stuff. That to me is essential when you're doing a building envelope rechange on a building, and like that's not a small complex. Like your area is big, and that's a big contract, and the buildings are worth a lot of money. To let them just not be done. Anyways, that's my vent for the day. So I kept it 100 right off the bat. Sorry.
You kept it 10,000.
Yeah, no kidding.
I just know, yeah. Sorry to anybody who thinks I'm being a dick about it, but we all have our own things. We all have our little what's it called? Our circle of vision. No, what is it? What is that thing when you look through your scope? I don't even know what it is. I can't even think of the word. I'm just kind of done. When you your own.
You know what, guys? I think he's talked himself out. Yeah. I think our guy's all tired out.
Damn, I'm tuckered.
He's gonna sleep tonight, boys. I'll tell you. He's worked himself right out. Oh God.
So what the hell's going on with you guys?
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I've had a bit of a day. Yesterday I got a call from our banking partner ATB, my good boy Johnny Winwick, and he asked if we can work with him and help with him on an initiative for McMurray.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so we partnered up. We contacted Identity, which is our clothing partner for NationBeer, because Johnny needs help with two things, and that's water and clothes, amongst other things. So we partnered up with ATB. Shona Strudwick and Jason Strudwick, Yo Mama, they're female, their clothing store. It's more maternity clothing, but they've got a bunch of other stuff. So I think we assembled like 1,000 pieces of clothing, and we're shipping all that up to Fort McMurray. So we had to go pick up all the stuff with Jared today, and we made the delivery. And then we very rarely do we have any flex in this world, but we flex Doodle Noodle to get Coke to jump on board. And we're also shipping up 4,000 bottles of water.
Hey, good job, buddy. Good job.
So, so it was kind of hectic because that came out of nowhere. Johnny called me, like, can you help us? And Johnny's been so good to us. So I was like, fuck, we got to figure this out. So been working the phones and driving around town like crazy. But the good news is I got to stop and pick up some Wilhock beef jerky. So
that's good living.
Oh, fuck, I'm so happy.
Now I feel even worse. Your day was hectic. Your day was hectic doing good things.
But I wasn't stressed out, Chalmers. Yours is legit. You have a bone to pick, and mine was just like something that came out of nowhere, and we had to jump to action, which was all for good reason and nothing. There was no stress because anyone we called for help said yes. So no friction.
How does one go about calling Coke? Call Coke 1-800-COKE.
1-800-COKE.
We're assigned a Coke rep. So shout out our boy Eric Shem from Coke. So we call him and say, hey man, we've been asked to help out with this. We think it's important. What can you do for us? What can we kind of do together? So we unlocked some budget and kind of went halvesies on getting 4,000 bottles of we got to show it to Dasani water because Coke helped us out. 4,000 bottles of Dasani water up to Fort Mac. So they're shipping it all up for us. So we were just kind of like the the conductor orchestrating all the pieces for that. So it was crazy. Just, these are crazy times, and it's amazing how many people want to help. So
can we get a shot of that water for social, Jay?
Yeah, Jared will get it. Also, Belmont Sobeys donated a bunch of water too that we're going to be putting up with the shipment. So I won't see the water until Monday. So hopefully we can get a shot of it because Coke's handling it all for us. They're sending a Coke truck up on our behalf to deliver all this. So
wow,
pretty cool. Pretty cool. Just crazy. Like it all happened in Johnny called me 18 hours ago, and it's like, can you do this? I'm like, okay. But when Johnny calls, you got to answer because that guy does so much for.
That's the guy. So. That's the guy Chalmers who let me sit in the box of Mrs. Everly.
Oh yeah.
Remember when I hung with Jordan Everly's mom and I do sweating as though I was playing the game? That was Johnny.
That was through ATV. Yeah, because they sponsor old Jordan, don't they?
He tricked me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come to the game?" I'm like, okay. And then I got in there. He's like, "Here's this nice lady named Lisa." I'm like, "Isn't that nice?" And then he's like, "Don't you love Jordan Everly?" And I'm like, "I love him every way but sexually." And then he was like, "This is his mother," and that was it. Such a nice guy, though. Such a good guy, Johnny Winwick.
Did you actually say you love him every way but sexually to his mother?
Right to his mom's face. Didn't know who she was. Yeah. Not a clue. And then she was like, "We think all your nonsense is funny, dear." And I was like, "Can I sit next to you and be your waiter all night?"
But Wanye made such an impression on Mrs. Everly that Jordan started DMing and thanked Wanye for his A game.
Yeah, 1,200 DMs unanswered from me. He DM'd me back finally. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Persistency is key. That's the
I was just going to say, persistence pays off.
And shock of all shocks.
I don't want to tell. I can tell you. Well, I'm not going to tell you a couple stories where being nice to someone's mom has paid dividends for me in my single life.
I know those stories.
Always connect with the mom. Always connect with the mom.
That's if they could be your biggest cheerleader.
Are you telling me that you got busy with some girl because you wooed her mom?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Well, that's exactly what you're saying. What
with Mother's Day on the horizon, be nice to your mother and the mothers of other people potentially in your social circles.
Or you were a mother lover. And maybe you can take their moms out.
Yeah.
Right? Meet a girl your own age, gain her trust, then go after her mom, is what you're saying.
Just like Justin Timberlake and Andy Samberg.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, you're in one.
Hey.
What the hell is going on?
What's going on right now?
Quiet.
Holy cow, that was stressful.
What just happened?
Oh, I'll tell you what, just 1 second. So
this is great. Whatever it is.
I'm parked outside of my house right now doing the podcast because I was driving. I got to the house. And so my dog is running out in the yard. And he's normally really good, but somehow he saw me in the truck and he just darted out onto the street. And I was like, shit. So I had to pop out of my car. My phone kicked off of Bluetooth and then I had to go and get hot dog back to a safe place.
Every single time we do a FaceTime call or play poker or something, I swear to God, you have one of the nicest lives ever. Everything is so nice and easy. But then all of a sudden, hot dog shows up. It just shows you for the biggest fucking loop. And all of a sudden, your blood pressure goes up. It's really intense how much this dog just F's with you, and you just love it still.
Oh, Magmel could attest. These guys can run our shows, and we got to take care of them. And they're, I'm his wingman, so he saw me. So he wanted to come say hi.
And especially at your place, Jay, too. You don't have that fence in the backyard. My dog, if that was Frank, he'd be in the street nonstop.
So yeah, hot dogs been pretty good, but some fucking asshole, likely a tier 2 Home Depot customer, dumped a bunch of dog food in the alley, and so hot dog took that as permission to leave the yard. So we've been working on training that out of him.
Well, it's free buffet back there.
Yeah, well, it was. I can't be mad at him because I would be if someone left a donair in the alley, best believe I'd be running out there and crushing that thing.
Before we keep moving on, need to give another reminder that our podcast is brought to you by the fine folks at Japa. 21, 36, 47-ton units. They are serviced, inspected, washed, detailed, and they're ready to go when you need them. No waiting time. And all their excavators come standard with dig and cleanup buckets. Japa Machinery Group. Check them out, japamachinery.com. And our other podcast sponsor, NationBeer. Jay, are we doing an exciting announcement today?
Oh, fuck. I just want to thank everyone who has purchased the beer, who has talked about the beer, who has sampled the beer, who has then reordered more beer. I want to thank you all because this is all creating a lot of attention. And today we're pumped to announce that Loblaws, which is Superstore, 40 Real Canadian liquor stores is going to be picking up and carrying NationBeer starting late next week. I'll know more. I'll know more the details in terms of the date. Their order's been submitted to Liquor Connect. It's just Dog Island needs to get that supplied to Liquor Connect. So they're going to be canning the beer on Tuesday. We've done a double batch. They're ordering a ton, which is crazy. We're gonna be in a bunch of Real Canadian liquor stores, which helps us kind of service a bigger community than just the Edmonton area, which is crazy. This is going to take us to like over 100 liquor stores. We're working on another big thing that until it's confirmed, we can't really say too much about it.
Hint it.
Did you say Hinton?
I'll hint Chalmers.
Yeah.
Chalmers, you know who Shakira is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's all I can say, man. That's all I can say.
Her hips don't lie.
Nah,
yeah.
No more. Yeah. No more. Not one more word.
Yeah, so it's crazy to see where it's going. So Dog Island's like, holy shit, like they just did a double batch. We think we're gonna sell out of that crazy. Now they're gonna start a triple batch right away to hopefully keep up with the demand. So we're gonna keep talking about it, keep pushing it because people seem to be liking the beer so much so that we like for Loblaws to pick it up, we had to ship a 4-pack to Ontario and ship a 4-pack down to Calgary for their their national beer person and their regional beer person to try it. So they obviously saw what we can do from an intention point of view, but they tried the product and liked it. So I just want to thank everyone for buying it. And thank you, thank you, Dog Island, for making something tasty for us. So crazy.
You know what I think is good about that? Maybe they can start paying for their sponsorship time on this podcast. Maybe start putting a couple bucks in these jeans over here.
Oh boy, I like how you're
brown one. How hard would that be, eh, boy?
You live a real one on the show today.
So don't kid yourself. So if everything goes good with the first round of this, we might have a sponsor. So they're doing things in phases. Their first thing to help us out is they ordered a ton of product, and if that's good, if that goes well, then they're gonna probably branch out and become a sponsor of the nation.
Well,
that's exciting.
So then maybe our call to action to the 14 people listening to this podcast, if you enjoy the podcast and you enjoy beer, next week when we give you the thumbs up, find your nearest Real Canadian liquor store, the Superstore liquor stores, and go pick up maybe a 4-pack, maybe a couple 4-packs of the NationBeer and show some support. Maybe we can get a sponsor on the pod.
Then go home and get your girlfriend pregnant.
Yeah.
Why? And right now they have 40s of Alberta Premium for $38. So
how do you know? How do you know that?
Because if Alberta Premium goes on sale anywhere in this city, I get an update.
Yeah,
you know what's interesting about that?
Text message from the CEO directly.
Exactly.
So, I love having a house beer, just like a cheap, casual beer that I can have a couple of days a week if I want. So normally
per week, couple of days. Big milk, it's quarantine life. Just a couple of days, fine.
Listen, I don't want to bring people into my alcoholism, but what I'm saying is I'm training for the moment that we can go back to bars, and I'm going to be ready. This is my Olympics.
Yep.
But I generally have Brewhouse Light in my fridge all the time. I've got Brewhouse Light and I've got NationBeer. That's my house beer. But there is a Canada-wide shortage on Brewhouse Light right now because it's so cheap. So I pivoted to AGD Chalmers.
Yes.
And I do not understand.
Is that Alberta genuine draft?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That shit's the fucking best.
Well, the best is not probably the term I'd use to describe AGD.
No, it's unreal.
It does have those hilarious full pop-off tops, though, in the can.
You know what? That's an underrated. I like that a lot.
I'm a big AGV guy, and the pop off top is big. Yeah.
Turns into a cup.
You know what? You know what sound clip I need to play right now, Bag Milk?
Go ahead.
I also drink a beer at Rogers Place, and I get crazy.
There's Nation Dan.
Yep.
I miss Nation Dan.
I miss Rogers Place beers so much.
Oh, what? Fuck. Yeah.
I was talking to a guy the other day, and I was like, what we should do, we were laughing at how Cineplex Odeon is on Skip the Dishes.
What?
That was me and Wanya. We were talking about that the other day. That was great.
Yeah, and Cineplex Odeon's on Skip the Dishes, and we're laughing. It is like, if $38 popcorn isn't enough, you can have it delivered to your house for $7.
Yeah.
And then I was telling a buddy about that. He's like, now if Rogers delivered beers, I would buy hockey beers at inflated prices.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they made it a fundraiser for the staff of Rogers Place, I bet you a lot of people would.
What is this guy, Rockefeller?
Whoa. He's a tier 1 contractor at Home Depot. They're highly liquid. They have no time, and they're on their move.
Yeah, well, then they can afford the good stuff. And he should get to go in first Home Depot. Did you guys watch the MJ doc? Part 2, 3, and 4?
I'm caught up, yes.
Yep. Again, put them all on fucking Netflix.
I know.
I'm waiting till the end.
I love. You know how I know?
What's going on? Hold up, everyone. I muted all your mics for a second because I have that power. Whoever's crinkling shit, calm down. I'll turn back on your mics in 3, 2, 1. Good.
That
you're
was
back.
job. Good
Somebody
job.
fell in a well.
I didn't even know you had a kill switch. Good job.
I'm gonna give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count as to who that was. Remember the guy whose air was blowing through his mic last time?
Yep.
He eats on the fucking podcast.
Yep.
Come on, he'll figure it out one day. Anyways,
I'm fucking hustling, man.
Yeah. The MJ doc, the way it just took over Tiger King, is the most streamed thing on Netflix.
It's unreal, man.
You know that?
It's the best.
And it is. It's the best. And you know how I know it's the best? Is because my wife doesn't sit and watch things that are to do with sports all that often. And this one, she said to me, "Hey, can we watch this right now? It's out today." And I'm like, "How do you know that?" She's like, "I've been waiting for it. It's awesome." One thing that I disliked about it, which I really had to figure out, was why they keep jumping around. Now, I just recently understood what they're doing when I sat down and actually realized that, look, this documentary is about 1997-98. It is about The Last Dance.
Yes.
So what they're doing is they started at the beginning of that season, and at periods in that season, they do what would be a deep dive into one thing, right? So they started with Pippen, and then they started with who was good. But that's what's so confusing is, they're talking about the season in question, the season they're actually doing the documentary on, 97-98. Then all of a sudden it gets to and we had Rodman, and now it's a 30-minute thing about Rodman. But then they jump back to 97-98, and you're kind of are we here? Are we now?
Well,
finding that?
The part that really threw me for a loop is, so you're going through Rodman's life, and you're going through Rodman. Then all of a sudden, you just kind of blink, and it's a deep dive on Phil Jackson. And there was no reset. Between every other topic, It either went to the end of the episode, or there was a hard reset on the season. This one just went Rodman. Oh, Phil Jackson, and then 20 minutes of Phil Jackson stuff. And that's what really threw me off. For the most part, the jumping around has been fairly easy to follow, but that last episode really fucked with me.
I could have gone on the Rodman thing for they could have done 2 episodes on Rodman because he is fascinating.
Michael Jordan finally says stuff, and he's talking out of school about everything.
Yeah.
But what he saw in that hotel room, he couldn't talk about. What the hell was happening in that hotel room in Vegas with Carmen Electra?
Oh, God. She is so hot. What are you even talking about right now? I feel like that's the beginning of Tiger King, and I don't even know anything about anything.
Why aren't you watching Last Dance then, Wanye?
Because I'm waiting till the end so I can speed watch them, bro.
Oh, boy.
But you're gonna. But here's the problem. This is one of those things that's like Game of Thrones or something. You have to watch this live, or you'll miss the conversation of all of it.
I have not watched Game of Thrones on that topic.
No. But it relates to that kind of a show.
No, I know.
World, where everybody's going to be talking about it Monday, so you have to watch it Sunday. You know.
Well, Chalmers, I'll tell you this much. I just prefer to hear you describe shit.
All right, well.
As usual, I watched the fucking thing you said to watch, and your description of what would happen in the NFL draft was way more entertaining than the actual NFL draft.
So, did we talk about the NFL draft on Tuesday when you guys had it?
No.
Okay.
No one cares but you.
I care.
Remember how I said there was going to be a bunch of glitching? Well, the one thing I thought they were going to do was have all these owners and all these general managers who were actually going to be talking, but they didn't. They just you're just in their living room. You got to see what their kitchen table looked like. Or in the case of Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, you got to see that he has a palatial mansion and he sits there with a pair of black slacks and no socks and dress shoes, like pimp stuff. But you got to see into these. But the real fun part about the whole draft was that they had cameras in all these draft pick houses, right? And there was at least like a 7 to 10 second delay.
Hold on. Who the fuck has background noise?
Mute your mic, Jay.
Here. We got a celebrity, local celebrity. Want to say hi to
Hello?
Who are you? Mike Fugelberg.
Hey!
I got a celebrity dropping at the house.
Never mind. My apologies.
So I just got him a NationBeer. I gotta be a good host, you know?
Fair. Friend of the show. We want him on.
Just future reference.
That's right. Here's Poogie. Oh, sorry. Poogie, what do you think of the NationBeer? God damn it, that tastes good. Cool. That's high praise, boys.
That's high praise. Celebrity walk-on.
And he probably already had like 3 or 4 other beers today, so.
He was in the neighborhood. I'm sitting in my car and he pulled up. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Okay, guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so draft picks. They're in their house. There's a 7 to 10 second delay. So they're watching the draft live on TV, and they can't see when they're on TV or when they're not. But they're always on 7 seconds before they think they are. So there was some really fun stuff that happened. The best one was a guy got drafted, and his girlfriend then went and sat on his lap and gave him a big hug. And Mama didn't play that. You're not going to take my baby's moment. And Mama grabbed her and picked her up and threw her off her son. And her son, in his like emotions of being, he gave a look up at Mama like he was scared. Like, oh, Mama's going to smack somebody. It was by far my favorite moment. But my second favorite moment was when wide receiver CeeDee Lamb got drafted by the Oakland Raiders. No, by the, I don't even know. Doesn't matter.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. So he's on the phone with the team. They're telling him that he's getting drafted right now. So the camera comes to him a little early. The pick hasn't been announced yet. But he's on the phone, and apparently his agent FaceTimed his other cell phone, which was sitting on his lap. And his girlfriend, who's a rock star, by the way, goes to
rock star or a rocket?
A rocket.
Continue.
Okay.
She's kind of both. Mm-hmm. He goes to grab his phone off of his lap. Well, CeeDee Lamb ain't having no part of that. You're not touching CeeDee Lamb's phone. So
not today, baby.
He snatches the thing out of his hand. And if you break down the video, he all of a sudden goes, okay, that was really embarrassing. You've got the sister or the mom on the other side of CeeDee Lamb who looks at her with her eyes rolled like, oh, you dumb bitch. What do you think? And it's just a picture-perfect 10 seconds of what I wanted to happen in this draft. It was awesome. If you can find these clips, to go CeeDee Lamb phone snatch and go like, I don't even know, draft pick mama yanks off girlfriend from last.
Ooh, careful if you say mama yanks off girlfriend. Ben,
that goes into my OnlyFans territory.
Can you try and find those videos and throw them in the article?
Yeah, I'll try. I also like the guy that got caught taking a shit in the background.
So that was not real. He was sitting at a bar. That was Mike Vrabel, who's the coach of the Tennessee Titans, and his kids didn't want to be on camera. Now everybody was trying to get, but in the reflection, he was actually sitting at the bar. But yes, it did look like he was booing. But that one was fake news, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you were really cheering for an NFL coach shitting on camera.
I would.
Yeah.
There's an OnlyFans account if you want to see that type of thing.
Jerry
that's
Jones,
my second one.
The owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, did it from his $250 million yacht.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah. Just sat there like a boss in the middle of. Yeah, there was not many owners that actually had cameras. most of the teams had their head coach and their GM. The only owners that had a camera were Jerry Jones. Like, it was just him. That was it.
So what? Like, they showed him like on the deck of his yacht doing his biz?
No, he was like sitting in the entertainment room of his yacht, and it was just like, it was like the nicest room I've ever seen in my life. I was on his yacht, and so that was very fun. Bill Belichick, notorious Bill Belichick, who doesn't like to say anything, basically just sat his dog at his computer at the kitchen table, and so every time the camera went, there was a dog sitting at the computer.
Looking it up real quick, Chalmers, Jerry Jones' yacht, $250 million, called the Bravo Eugenia.
Wow.
Okay.
I wonder what that's named after.
If you had a yacht, what would you name it?
Bling bling.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Little Yachty.
Tier 1.
Bodie McBoatface.
I was going to say, Chalmers would name his elite contractor.
Oh, nice.
Tier 1 Home Depot customer.
That's why I just said Tier 1. It was just to keep it simple, Tier 1.
Before we wrap up the podcast, we ended Monday's podcast on a question from the audience, which was, who's your favorite all-time underrated Oiler? Like a guy who's not a Hall of Famer. They can't be on the current team either. So you got to look back a little bit. Not on the current team, not a Hall of Famer, but a lesser-known Oiler who you loved for whatever reason. Now, we all gave our answers, and then we lost Wanye's phone connection. So we didn't get his answer. So we gave our best guesses. But Wanye, I want to give you a chance to share, maybe it's when you were a kid or growing up or whatever, but who is your favorite Oiler who wasn't an all-star?
So you guys guessed who my favorite Oiler who wasn't good was?
Yeah.
Well, like who was? Yeah, exactly. Because it's the criteria was not in the Hall of Fame
and not on this year's team.
And not on this year. So who's your favorite non-Hall of Famer Oiler from the past?
But now, was he somebody of note when he was an Oiler?
Yeah, sure.
That was part of it.
It just can't be like Gretzky, Curry, Messier.
I see. So it isn't like, what's your favorite underdog of all time in an Oilers lineup? It's
I gave two answers. I had Jason Smith and Igor Ulanov.
Sure. Chalmers, who did you say?
I wasn't on the pod, but if I would have said Doug Waite.
I think I said Doug Waite, maybe Cujo, or I don't remember what I said now.
Is Doug Waite considered to be an underdog, though, right? Like,
no, but they're not saying underdog. They're just saying not a Hall of Famer and not on the current team.
Yeah. Ryan Smith, for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And we also had a clause because Smitty was going to be everyone's answer. Who would it be that was not Ryan Smith?
Oh, fuck. I love Doug Waite. I love Jason Smith, for sure.
It's Marius Tchaikovsky, isn't it?
He's very sexy.
I thought for sure you would say Bill Ranford.
Oh, Bill Ranford, of course. You're right. Bill Ranford
kills the effect.
No, you're right. It was Bill Ranford. See, to me, a guy who won a Vezina, I was thinking originally when you were laying this out, it has to be an underdog. No, Bill Ranford for sure, 1, Smitty 2, Doug Waite 3.
What if we had to change it to like your favorite underdog? Is there an answer on the top of your head?
Yeah, so I would say, think about
26.
this one. Who wanted to be an Oiler so much? Who was such an underdog that shouldn't have been into the league that he impressed the shit out of you and you liked as a result?
Ryan Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved Ryan Jones. God bless. That's a good pull, Yaremchuk.
Thank you.
Sam Gagne, especially of late, is coming on for me.
Yeah.
That's what she said. And I said incorrectly once predicted he'd be captain. When that guy took the shot to the mouth and he was like, I can't wait to get back on the ice. I was like, I love you, Sam Gagne, legitimately.
You know, I also got some love for Sean Horkoff. At the time, remember when he signed that contract? Everybody
100%.
was hating on him. But, like, with the benefit of hindsight and everything he did for the city and everything he did for the kids on that team, Sean Horkoff deserves more love around here.
For sure. And to blow your shoulder out in the All-Star game and have that be, all of a sudden now you're the poster boy of being overpaid. Until that point, Sean Horkoff was a great story.
I like
my opinion.
I love Sean Horkoff.
Hey, yesterday was the anniversary of Todd Marchand's OT goal against Dallas.
Wow.
Game
Yeah.
Bucky's another top Oiler of all time in terms of grit and desire.
Bucky is classic. Like he was just the heart and soul. You could always count as a kid, like because I love seeing fights in hockey. You could always count as a kid Bucky getting into a fight where he got absolutely destroyed, but would put himself together, play the next game, and then do it all over again.
Bill Ranford was my favorite because, after all the good Oilers left, I didn't follow the Oilers until about 92. And in 92, It was like the Oilers are leaving. The Oilers suck. The Oilers have a terrible lineup. Edmonton sucked. You, Wanye, you suck specifically. And I remember Bill Ranford would go out and make like 45 save performances on the regular. And he was like the only guy still trying for a while until he got traded.
I'll never forget Bill Ranford because I'm going to guess this is probably 92, 93, somewhere in there, when you used to be able to actually go stand outside the Oilers locker room at Rexall Place.
Yeah.
There was just had that little gate there. And I remember my dad used to take me down there all the time to see if anybody would sign my programs. And Bill Ranford walked right over to me and signed my program and spent, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of his time just talking to me about hockey and what I wanted to do. And I'll remember that forever.
In my junior Wanye bedroom, never seen by a girl, I had 2 framed letters on the wall. And one was from Dr. Randy Gregg of Oilers Note. And I'd written him a note thanking him for his service to the Oilers, as you do as a child. And he wrote me back. And then Bill Ranford signed a little drawing, a crappy children's drawing I did. And he wrote me a letter, and it said, "Your friend" at the bottom. And I took that at literal face value. And I was like, Bill Ranford is my friend. If I see him in the street, he will know who I am.
It's Randy Gregg. You just got me thinking about it. It is wild to think that he was playing for the Oilers while also working on his doctorate.
He was in the Stanley Cup Finals taking medical licensing exams.
It's bananas.
He is a hell of an Oiler.
Hell of an Oiler. He put my kneecap back in place once upon a time as well.
Wow.
Hell of an Oiler.
That actually brings me to another question. Tomorrow, TSN is going to be dropping, tomorrow being Friday, they're going to drop Edmonton's all-time team. So they built the roster, the best left wing, best right wing, best centerman, but then it also had to include a checking line, and your third D pairing had to be a shutdown D pairing and all that stuff. But they also included a foundational player, and it's basically described as a player who best personifies the organization. So for the Oilers, it would be who is the one guy that through and through bled copper and blue, who was just
Wayne Gretzky.
But the thing is, you can't pick a player who was on the team. So it kind of goes back to that whole not a great player, but whatever. I went and I did the exercise, actually listed my team, all that, been doing it all week on 1260. And the player we came up with is Ryan Smith. Is there another answer besides Ryan Smith? Some were saying Kelly Buchberger, but for me, it's Smitty.
I would say my answer would be, we talked to him on Oilersnation radio a few months ago, George Larocque.
Yeah.
He did so much in the community that the Oilers actually had to tell him to slow down on his charitable initiatives because he was always at the Children's Hospital. He was always at the Stollery. He was always trying to do things in the community. So my vote goes to Big George.
Yeah, it's a toss up between Smitty and Bucky, just because Bucky was just they both played with a lot of heart. They're just kind of two kind of different eras. So if you picked either one of those, I wouldn't be upset. But if
you went to Ryan Smith mid Game 7, 2006, and you stopped time, you're like, would you die for the Oilers to win tonight? He'd be like, yep.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I was at the game when he took the pronger clearing shot right in the teeth and then came out, got an assist on the winner. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see who TSN decides naming it. But the reaction I was getting from a lot of Oilers fans was it's Smitty or it's Bucky. But the Larocque answer is really interesting as well, because for a guy who wasn't a skill player, who was never going to make the most money on the team or even close to it or anything like that, for him to put as much into the community as he did was always really, really cool. I know we touched on that a little bit earlier in the week, but
love Georges.
Alrighty, that's gonna do it for a Thursday episode of Real Life. Unless anyone's got any parting shots.
Stay in your house, you fucking weirdos.
Stay in your house. Fuck.
All right. Big shout out to NationBeer. Big shout out to Java Machinery.
Depot if you need to buy a $5 bag of soil.
Or if you see Chalmers, let them go in front.
Or if you see Chalmers, butt them in line.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what, everyone go to Home Depot. Everyone go to Home Depot.
No, that's it's irresponsible to tell people to leave their house.
Okay. Oh, God.
Cheerio, Frantito.
All right. That was a good one, guys.
That's going to do it for another episode of Nation Real Life. Shout out to Japa. Shout out to NationBeer. Shout out to Oodle Noodle. And shout out to you for tuning in. Tyler Yaremchuk. For everybody else, have a good weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from.